Wilson Miller is an ordinary man who resides in the city of Pittsburgh with his beloved prized possession, a stuffed beagle dog. Wilson and the stuffed dog do everything together, whether it be eating dinner or sitting outside and enjoying the calm air of the neighborhood. Until his worst nightmare came upon him. This is Unleashed. One morning, Wilson woke up to the stuffed dog nowhere to be found. He turned his apartment upside down in order to find the dog, but he had no luck. He was sure that he went to sleep with the dog by his side, but he can't find the dog anywhere. Wilson's anxiety skyrocketed and he began to panic. As Wilson was frantically searching, his close friend Quinn Swiper walks into the room and asks what's going on. He explains that his dog was lost and that he believes it was stolen. Quinn tries to calm Wilson down, but nothing could make him feel better. Quinn then tells Wilson that he is overreacting, but Wilson continues to worry and storms out of the room. Wilson proceeded to make a huge scene outside of his apartment building. Neighbors and others began to react to Wilson's cries with shock and worry. Wilson sat down and began to break down as Quinn kept trying to talk to him. Neighbors were speechless as to why someone would do such a thing. The whole neighborhood was in panic mode. Wilson became surrounded with support, causing Quinn to feel ignored and storm out of the area. Wilson reached out to me for help in investigating this case. I interviewed him and asked about how he was feeling, in which he replied that he has never felt so empty and hopeless in his life. I told him that I will do everything in order to solve this crime, but he proceeded to break down uncontrollably. It's time to investigate. As part of the investigation, I placed a few hidden cameras in common areas in order to gather evidence. I noticed that Quinn was typing very nervously. She then picks up a piece of paper and proceeds to flip it over, revealing text that said sold for $1,000. I found this rather unusual on top of her nervous behavior. Wilson enters the room and Quinn slams her computer immediately. After I saw this footage, I decided to interview Quinn about the situation. I asked Quinn about what she thinks about the crime, and she told me that she has no idea who would commit such a heinous crime, but I was a bit suspicious considering the hidden footage I saw previously. I tried to hint about her and Wilson's odd interaction, but she denied any accusations I made and refused to speak anymore. At this point, I'm extremely suspicious about Quinn. I keep wondering why she isn't even helping her close friend during this frantic time. I decided to look up information about Quinn on the internet and see if there's anything peculiar about her. After searching for some time, I found something that shocked me beyond belief. Quinn Swiper sold a beagle dog for $1,000 3 years ago on a pet finding website? This cannot be a coincidence. After this discovery, I knew that Quinn was responsible in this terrible crime. I showed Wilson the website that I found and told him that this $1,000 sale cannot be a coincidence with the paper from the hidden camera footage. After he sees this, he reacts with pure terror. I asked Wilson what the significance of this is, and he explains how the dog that Quinn sold was his actual pet beagle that he thought ran away 3 years ago. After hearing this, my heart dropped. I didn't know what to do other than comfort Wilson, but in a matter of seconds he stormed out of the room to confront Quinn. I managed to quickly grab the camera and record the confrontation. After Wilson yells about the evidence to Quinn, she finally admits that she stole the stuffed dog. Wilson is left traumatized and demands for more details. Quinn then explains that she snuck into Wilson's apartment in the middle of the night to take the stuffed dog so that Wilson would stop obsessing over it. She tiptoed into the apartment while Wilson was sleeping, quietly snatched the stuffed dog from the bed, and hurried out of the apartment and put the dog away in safekeeping. After explaining how she stole the stuffed dog, she proceeded to tell Wilson that she sold his actual dog because he was having financial trouble and she wanted to help him. Wilson was so disgusted that he stormed out of the room. Quinn's so-called help just didn't make sense to me whatsoever, so I called her in for an interview. She said that she meant no harm in her actions and that she simply wanted to help with Wilson's financial issues. I was so disgusted by her words that I didn't even know what to say. She continued to try to defend herself, and I told her how wrong it was to betray her friend in such a devious manner. Even though it seemed like she felt bad, she got angry after I told her that she was in the wrong and left the interview. A few hours later, Quinn left a box outside of Wilson's door and knocked and walked away. I happened to be with Wilson when this happened. He opened the door and saw the mysterious box. After opening the box, Wilson finally reunites with his prized possession and is ecstatic about having the dog back. He proceeds to show me how Quinn returned the stuffed dog, and I ask him if he is going to forgive her or not. He then explains that even though he has the dog back, he feels so betrayed that he no longer wishes to speak to her anymore. A few days later, Wilson is in a somewhat better state than before. Although he was initially thrilled to have his stuffed dog back, he decides to put the dog away due to the bad memories that he wishes to move on from. Wilson decides that he wants something to uplift him during a stressful time and does some research and makes some phone calls. After sorting through dozens of documents and talking to a bunch of companies, Wilson officially makes a decision that will change his life, adopting a 5-year-old beagle from the local animal shelter. Following this traumatic crime, Wilson is finally ready to leave his dark past behind and embark on a new journey with a friend that he knows will always be loyal to him.